Hello, everybody. Welcome to Opinionate, which will be a weekly podcast for the thick-skinned, easily offended, need not subscribe. Might not always be a language for youngsters, so keep that in mind. We're going to get to it. The first thing I want to do is say a little bit about myself. I was born in Hazleton in 1962, the absolute perfect time in our history as far as I'm concerned. A great country. I'm a product of Italian immigrants, 100%, and I'm extremely proud of my heritage. I have a few businesses here in Hazleton, PA, and by the grace of God, a lot of hard work and hours, I've done pretty well for myself. I'm living my best life. All that being said, I'm on a bit of a crusade, you might say, to expose exactly how things work in small towns. And someone said all politics is local. Well, I agree with that 100%. It starts out being all local. I remember reading Rudy Giuliani's book. He said you have to fix the small stuff, and the big stuff almost fixes itself. People were going off in New York about them getting jaywalking tickets. He turned out to be exactly right. He fixed the city of New York. It was the safest city in America, big city in America, after he got done. I believe that most people that get into politics have good reasons to do that. When the country was set up, I don't think many people are aware of this, but when the country was set up, pretty much only people that had money and with means were in the government. They did it as a way of giving back. The other reason that I think they did it was, after you have money, there's nothing left but power. So they were their reasons for getting in. Sorry about that. My phone's ringing, see? Anyway, they didn't need people's money, their pensions. There wasn't even a thing as that then. And yet here we are today with the kind of government that we have that is completely different than it was meant to be and when it was set up. People like Donald Trump, whether you're a Trump supporter or not, didn't need anything from the government. They went in rich, and they served their country, and they came out. These days you have folks like the president we have now who's never done anything but government and feed off of the government, and he got rich while he was in there. That's a little backward. Don't get me wrong. They just, people with money want power, so that's what happened there. The other thing I want to make perfectly clear is this is a new venture of mine, and this podcast has been in the works for months. It just so happens that this came up with the local election, and Cindee offered to be a guest, and so we extended that invitation, and we're glad that she's here today. I wanted to give her an opportunity to plead her case. Who knows, by the end of this, I might even vote for her. You just never know. So, with that said, my first guest ever on Opinionate is candidate for mayor of Hazleton, Mrs. Cindee Deluca.
Hi, Nate.
Hi, Cindee. Cindee and I know each other a little bit. My first memories of you are actually your kids coming into my father's house on Poplar Street and going right into the refrigerator. And I said to my father, who are they? There were always strangers in my father's house, always, growing up my whole life. There was somebody at the Christmas Eve dinner table that nobody knew, and so that was no exception. And he told me that they were your kids, and you were across the street with your husband and your business.
Correct.
And so that was my first meeting with the Deluca family. Do we know each other well? Absolutely not. We do not. We've had our little things back and forth over the years. The only thing I know is about the lawsuit that you had against the city a couple of years ago that you won. I'm not really sure about all those details or how that came to pass. And I know you're involved in another with them now for stuff that I don't understand. I don't understand why they are not doing what they need to do, and I just don't understand it. So I don't know if you'll want to talk about that at all. But you got 250 grand from what I understand. I'm sure the lawyer ended up with a bunch of that, so it wasn't like it was life-changing money at that time, right or wrong?
Correct.
Am I right so far? Okay.
You are.
Okay, good. Don't be afraid to jump in if I say something out of line.
Oh, no, it's public knowledge.
Okay, good. All right. Um, so anyway, so we're here today to find out, obviously you and I have had a thing over the past little while, whether it be about my son or your fees or whatever it was. So I started a campaign with the signs last week, that said, vote for anybody but you. And it was really just about poking you. I just wanted to poke you a little bit and see if I could get some stuff started. I never expected what really happened. I didn't even expect it myself to blow up into this huge. So you can thank me for the exposure. It's all good. You've been on the front page.
Well, I
of
do
both
thank
pages.
you.
You're welcome.
But just know, you
You are
have,
welcome for that.
just know you do have your freedom of speech, and that does not bother me.
Right.
I'm all for freedom of speech.
Right.
What I didn't like, and I will express this, is people trespassing on private property and then damaging the sign.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I had no control. I gave them strict instructions, and they didn't listen. And he didn't listen. That one guy. So, did you consider my signs to be political signs?
Well, they are political in a sense, but they're
Right.
not a legal political sign.
A legal political sign?
Correct.
What does that mean?
Well, there's stipulations when you have signs, and I can send you that information.
No, I have since learned that I was supposed to put on there who paid for the sign. I figured the fact that forget about it was at the bottom of it would take care of that. But anyway, I just wondered if you considered it a political sign, because I know on your live broadcast the other day, your husband mentioned that he has a collection of them and that they had pulled most of them. So I know that that's illegal. It was illegal for my guy, and it should be illegal for your husband if it's a political sign for him to be out there picking them up. And I know they were all gone. They were all gone in an hour,
Well, I mean, your
So,
intention was it to be a political sign, but we're not here to debate that. You wanted to ask me some questions pertaining to my candidacy, which I'm willing to absolutely entertain.
okay, great. So my first question for you then would be, in your business experience or in your life, in your experience, how many employees have you been over in
Well,
a
that too is irrelevant. That does not pertain to my candidacy.
it doesn't
So
pertain to your cancer?
unless there's a question there that pertains to it, please proceed.
Well, the reason for asking the question is because you're going to be mayor of a town with about 125 employees that will answer to you, 7 or 8 department heads. And so my question to you is, give us your qualifications. Why would you think that you would be able to walk into that position and do that? And I'm all ears.
So I'm not there to overrun the city. I am going to get in and work with the administration that is there. It's going to be considered. I see the face, Nate, and you
Yeah,
can. That's
everybody
why
can see
there
the face.
are. That is why there are department heads.
Right.
I oversee the entire city
Yeah.
if elected, but we have
Right.
department heads. No one individual can run streets department or code or zoning. That's why
Yeah.
you have
Right.
employees.
Right. But so correct me if I'm wrong, but I would think that you have completely alienated those folks with your actions here lately. You really think that those folks are going to work for you? I'm just asking. When you get there, honestly, do you think that they're going to work for you?
So, what do you mean by alienate? Are you referring to the fact that I call out what is not being done? Versus
It's
when
not
they
so
do
much the
something
way that
right,
you.
I do call that out as well. So,
Yeah.
You're
No, I,
mostly going
go
on
ahead.
the cons of what I call out, correct? You're stating because they didn't do something or they're favoritizing something else instead of prioritizing, then so what do you mean alienate? Because I'm
I
calling
just,
out what's going on?
okay, well, you can put it however you want to put it. The question is, do you think that those people will actually work for you when this is all said and done if you were elected?
If I were
Do
elected,
you really
yes.
think that?
Yes, I
You,
do.
you think that?
They need a
Okay.
job. I'm sure they're going to keep their job and they're going to do the best job that they can. So, yes.
Usually, when a new administration comes in, they put their own people.
No, I have no affiliation to or any decision to put in anybody I know, no friends, no family. I will work with whom is there currently. I don't plan on going in and firing individuals.
Hmm.
Whoever's there, I will work with. I will make sure that they are certified in their position and qualified. And if they need recertification,
Well,
then
that's
so
what
be
I'm
it.
trying to do now. I'm trying to get you certified and qualified. So, what gives you the certification and the qualification? That's what I'm asking you. Let me have it.
Well, what gives America stat? So that
Well,
begs to differ.
he ran
You're
two very
asking
successful
me,
businesses.
you're
Yeah,
asking me what my business,
right,
how many employees, that
right.
has nothing to do with this. I
It
managed
has
my two
everything to do with it.
businesses in its entirety since
Right,
2006, and I'm
right.
still in business and I'm still operating and functioning properly
Yeah,
and effectively.
yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. So, it has everything to do with it. First of all, I mean, if you want to avoid the question, that's fine.
I'm
It has
not
everything
avoiding
to do
it.
with it.
I'm answering you.
I'm asking you what your qualifications are, and you're telling me
I have
that
many
the amount of
qualifications.
employees have nothing. Let's have them.
Okay, what would you like? You want me to start from high school on up or
Well, let's clear this up.
sure.
The other day, you know, I always say you have a fourth grade education.
You do.
I'm only ever saying that because of what I see and what I hear. That's what it
Okay.
sounds like to me. That's my opinion. Everybody has one,
That's
right?
your
Your show's
opinion.
called Opinionate, after all. So, um, and you held up. You brought. This is what you do that really gets me. You brought out a stack of stuff, right? And you said these are my degrees. Am I right so far? Stop me when I'm wrong.
You are right. Continue.
Okay. And then you held up a piece of paper that said criminal justice. Was that from McCann?
That was from my college.
Which is what?
I went to University of Pitt. I went to Lackawanna College, and I have other college degrees as well, not just
What are
criminal
they?
justice.
What are they?
I have criminal justice and forensic science. I have 12
Criminal justice.
certificates with FEMA and Homeland Security.
But where is that one from the criminal justice from? What school?
That would have been from, off the top of my head, Everest College, online.
Mm, okay. All right, great. Let me ask you something, Cindy.
You can ask away.
Um, there you go. A little while back, you had 1,600 signatures for the school board for Michael Possessor
Correct.
before there was a lick of evidence or facts or so you asked 1,600 people to sign a petition that he be removed and
Well,
end
you would
his
be
career.
incorrect. You would be
What?
incorrect. There was
Oh,
actual proof. So we're not here to talk about an ongoing investigation, or we are here to talk about myself
we're
as
here
a
to talk about
candidate.
your actions. Well, we're here to talk about your actions. I think they're very relevant. I
Okay.
think they're very aren't isn't that relevant?
Well, it's relevant
Did you
if
not?
you're making a point in this situation as to my candidacy.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's exactly what we're here for.
Okay.
I want to
Go ahead.
know. Okay. So So the fact that this person is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, you got him, you got Kiko Barletta, you got Hudak, who is a maniac, who belongs in jail. I don't know if he's there yet or not, but in my opinion, he also belongs there. Listen, let's just say this. There are 100 things that you do that I agree with
Fair.
all the time.
Okay.
Yeah. That school board is a disaster. They are a disaster. That is for another show, right? There's a lot of things. I do not agree with the way that you do it, but a lot of times I agree with what you're doing. I just want you to know that.
Fair enough. Again, opinionate.
There you go. Love that. How do you feel about that, though? I mean, the fact that the stuff's not out there and you're out there trying to ruin these people. You were out about Kiko Barletta the next day. The next day.
Yeah.
I do the right thing.
Do you know that he has proof that that never happened?
Do you know I have proof that it did happen?
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. Because your husband the other day mentioned that he has proof that I have a VIN plate making machine.
Sorry,
do you know how ridiculous that is?
This doesn't pertain to my husband, so carry on.
Say that again?
This conversation that we're on here for does not pertain to my husband. It pertains to me. So you're veering off course.
No, your credibility has everything to do with your candidacy.
And my credibility is outstanding. So
then can you tell me that is a falsehood?
What?
That he has proof that I have a VIN making machine, which I never heard of, by the way, but thank you very much.
I cannot answer that for you.
You can't.
You'll have to discuss that with him. I am not my husband. I am myself.
Sitting right next to him. You're sitting right next to him.
I'm sitting next to.
No. I'm saying that day. That day I'm talking about.
Okay.
That day. You're sitting right next to him. And
again, you were here to question me.
You let him do that. You let him do that. No, I mean, in all honesty, this is your credibility. I mean, I know you don't want it to be. The fact that Paulie DiLorenzo and his stupid wife
again,
but you surround yourself. They are the people you're surrounding yourself with, Cindee.
They live in a whole other town, Nate. So let's continue.
Yeah, but they're at the meetings with you.
Point.
They're at the meetings with you. They are your endorsers. Right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? Do they
are not
endorse
my
your candidacy?
endorsers. No, they do not. Not one penny. My
one
financials are in, so you may check that.
All right, but what about as far as the people you are surrounding yourself with?
I am a businesswoman.
Yeah.
I am in the eye of the public. So guess what? I surround myself with you right now too.
Yeah. Well, that can only make your thing elevated. Trust me.
I think it's vice versa. I think that would be vice versa.
I know you do. But the proof is in the pudding, darling.
Carry on.
Anyway, listen, you have a First Amendment right to say whatever you want. But
as
when
do
you start, as do I, the problem is they're going to come after you civilly when this is over. Because you cannot go online.
And I'm here, but you're not my attorney. You're not my attorney, so we're not here to speak legal. Let's proceed with your questions. Otherwise,
we're talking about your credibility, darling.
Proceed with your. You're not. Listen, my name is Cindee. It's not darling. It's Cindee.
Okay. Whatever. What I'm saying to you is, we're talking about your credibility. And your credibility is nothing because when you go online and you start saying trash like I have a VIN plate, do you know how ridiculous he sounds?
I did not say that.
If
not me.
I understand, but you were sitting next to him and you didn't stop him.
You didn't discuss that with him.
You didn't stop him. This is the kind of crap that you put out there, and you want to run for mayor of a town. Tell me why. What are your qualifications?
You want me to go over them again? I've answered this,
only
so
took
please
4 seconds
carry
to give
on.
me the last one. Go ahead. Give me your qualifications.
Again, we've been over this numerous times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a record, Nate. So
I don't
please,
have a record either. I
let's
don't have a
let's
record
move.
either. If you pull up my criminal
I
records, you'll
know
find I
because of
have nothing.
ARD. I know.
Whatever.
I know.
For whatever reason, I don't have a record.
Okay, so let's
Okay.
proceed with
So
your
stop it with the
next.
Nate's a criminal. Nate belongs in jail. They're coming to get. Listen, the FBI called the other day, just like y'all are reporting, but they ordered food out of my restaurant. That's why they called. Just so you know.
Kudos.
Thank you. We're going to break for just a minute. We want to talk about some sponsors. So just hang with us, okay?
Yep.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching Opinionate and listen. If you're just listening, we want to talk about, excuse me, Guardian Driveway Maintenance. They're locally owned and operated by my friend Jeff. Commercial and residential seal coating, crack repair, line striping, pothole repair. They are the Picassos of seal coating. Tell them I sent you. Phone number is 570-599-6473. Talk to Jeff. Tell him I sent you. Tell him Uncle Nate sent you. We're going to talk about Cosmos. It is a new restaurant in Freeland. My buddy Anthony, he is a working maniac. He'll probably be mayor of Freeland before this is all over because he is just a working, awesome maniac. The place is great. He had a food truck before this. He does wings, salads, cheesesteaks, pizza, a whole lot more. He does entertainment. My buddy Rockin' Ray was over there the other day, so he does a lot of good stuff. It's really good stuff.
Thank you for the free entertainment.
What was that? What am I hearing? No. I can hear you. I didn't turn your mic off. Okay. The other one, we're going to come back in just a second. We're going to mention one more. That's 924 Landscaping and Supply. Adam Davidic is over there, and he will take good care of you. He's got cinder block, mulch, grass seed, decorative stone, anything you can imagine to do your landscaping. He does trash removal, hauling, all that good stuff. Give him a call. It's 358 Cranberry Road in West Hazelton. The phone number is 570-401-6464. Thank you to my sponsors. We have a couple of more, but we'll get to them at the end. Mrs. DeLuca, are you ready?
I am.
Okay, great.
So Nate, I must say, I appreciate your opportunity, the proposal you've given me to join your podcast. However, there has been no substance to what you're asking me pertaining to my candidacy running for Hazelton mayor.
All right, great. Well, you give me something. I'll give you the floor.
Well, you wanted to ask questions, so please do so. I'm here to answer your questions as you requested.
Right, but you haven't answered anything so far. I asked you, why do you think you can just walk in there and run 125 people in all those departments? Answer the question. There's a question.
The same way Jeff is. The same
But
exact
Jeff
way. I'm going to
okay, go ahead.
continue.
Go ahead.
What were you going to say? Jeff what?
Jeff ran a company. He ran a business with, 25 or so employees, 30 employees. And listen, it's a learning process. I get it. Is there, what's in the background there?
People.
You have something going on in the background? What's that?
There's people.
Okay. Yeah, he ran a company. He ran two businesses, and
I run
you have
two
a little
businesses.
bit of experience.
And I have
Yeah,
experience.
but you have no employees.
You
Okay.
say I have no employees.
What are they? How many employees?
Currently, there are two.
Oh, I don't know. Do you? That's what I'm asking.
Two. You didn't
great.
ask
Okay.
that. You're assuming.
That's what I was thinking. No, at first I asked you how many, and you wouldn't answer me. I asked you how many employees do you have. I asked you that 3 times. You wouldn't answer me. Now you're answering me, so that's a start. So you have 2 employees. Okay, great. So what else? What else do you have as to why you could be mayor?
Well, I could be mayor for many reasons. I can do for this community that's not being done, promises that are not being fulfilled are broken, and in 8
Okay.
years have not yet even been fulfilled. There's so much this town needs. We have deplorable buildings.
Okay. And
We
what would you
have,
do about that? Let's stop there. What would you do about those?
well, firstly, code enforcement would need to go out and do their job description. It starts within the city. It starts within City Hall. You
Okay.
need your employees to go out and enforce. We have no enforcement. We have no structure whatsoever. And if you think we do,
No, no, no. I'm asking you. So how do you change that? You're talking
you
about keeping the
enforce,
people that are
you
there.
make it, you enforce it. As the mayor of the Hazelton of City
Yeah.
Hall, or excuse me,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that was my bad. As the
It's okay.
Hazelton mayor, you
Uh-huh.
are obligated to enforce your personnel in every department.
Right.
So you have code out, you have the city streets department out, you have zoning out, you have our police officers out on the street interacting with the community, making a change.
Okay, but I'm still back at the deplorable buildings. So I'm
Right.
asking you, how
So
do you fix it? Okay, so what do you do?
code enforcement needs to go out and make people aware of what needs to be changed on those properties.
Okay.
Also, if they're dilapidated, they
Right.
need to be taken down. They need to be
And
removed.
how do you make that happen?
So you either contact the owner and have them get it removed, taken down, or the city takes it over and they take it down.
Okay. All right. What else you got? What
Well,
is
what
the
else
other
do you
thing?
want to know?
No, I'm asking
We
you.
have
I'm asking you for some
deplorable
stuff. What are you
streets.
gonna fix? Okay.
Our
How do you fix
streets
it?
are poor. How do I
How do
fix
you fix
them? So we get our streets department out more.
it? Out
They
more?
need, yes, they need to be repaired. Not,
So
I have,
Frank Vito's not doing a good job.
listen, I'm sure he's not the one going out on the street doing it, but he needs to have, he's the department head, correct? So our street department needs to be out on the streets, filling in potholes, seeing what streets need to be repaved. I have spoken to numerous residents and taxpayers, mind you, whose streets have not been paved once in 15 or 20 years.
Yeah, I
That's a
agree. Yeah.
problem. That's a problem.
Are you aware of the fact that that department is at a third of what it used to be as far as employees?
Then you need to hire employees,
And where are you going to get the
or
money
you
for
need
that?
to make sure you have a full-time grant writer, you pull in grants, you find other means. You just don't,
Mm.
okay, the city is one day we don't have money and the next day we're out of Act 47.
Hmm.
So the same individual who put us in Act 47 now has us out of Act 47, but what has changed in those 8 years,
What's happening?
7 years?
Hey, folks, we're back. I'm back. Service Electric cut us off. We went down. We tried to bring Cindy back. Can't get her back. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with her. It just is one of those technical things that happened. I just got off the phone with her, and I assured her that I would explain that through no fault of ours, it went down. Couldn't bring her back. She would like to come back to wrap it up and finish it up, and I would like for that too, because the last thing I wanted to do with this thing, and I want people to understand that, it wasn't a matter of bringing her down, okay? I wanted her to explain her qualifications to have that job. It's up to you to decide if you think she did that. The show's called Opinion 8. My opinion is, we didn't get it all. We just didn't get it all. I have never thought she had what it takes to do that job. She certainly didn't change my mind by anything she said. She has a lot of great points. People agree with a lot of the things that she says. I think most people don't agree with the way that she does it. Like I said, it's going to be up to the voters of Hazleton to make that distinction. A couple more sponsors I want to thank before we go out. One of them is running for West Hazelton. In West Hazelton are Louis Pacelli, Anastasia D'Angelo, Diane Chura, and Alan Sandrock. This was paid for by them to just a mention for them to vote for them in West Hazelton. They happen to be friends of mine, whether that makes any difference or not. And I wanted to mention the restaurant, Forget About It, my restaurant. We are soon going to be, through this podcast, selling food throughout the country. We'll be able to ship it when we're done. So we're going to talk more about that another day. Don't forget that when we're open, we always have pizza, hoagies, and we have our notary services available. Full service notary, instant renewals, title transfers, tags, the whole bit. We are open in spite of what some idiots out there in town have to say. Idiots, mostly. I'm talking about Paulie DiLorenzo, his stupid wife, and people like that. You want to talk about a criminal? There's a criminal. His rap sheet, 51 pages. I printed off a line. 51 pages. Take that, you piece of crap. Now, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to talk to Cindee a little bit, a few days tomorrow or the next day, and set up a time, and we will do something else with her. She wants to come back and wrap it up. Paul's Auto Center is another sponsor. PJ's a great guy. He has all the latest equipment. He's open 24 hours. He's been around since 1980. Light, medium, and heavy towing. That's Paul's Auto Center. He's located on South Church Street in Hazelton as well. And he is a sponsor. We want to thank all of those sponsors, man. That was so cool for you to come out and do that for this show today. We want to thank everybody who is watching, who will watch, and who will continue to watch. We'll be back next Saturday, if not before, with Cindee. But next Saturday, our guest will be Bob Yevok. He is running on the Democratic side for mayor of Hazelton as well. Known him my whole life. Good guy. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not afraid to say it. But everybody's going to get their chance. We're going to try to get Mr. Castro in here, who I have never met, I don't think. And Mayor Cassatt, if he wants to, I don't know. Other than that, this has been awesome. And we thank you so much again for watching and joining. And hope to see you next week with some more fun stuff. The last thing I'm going to leave you with is a joke of the day. Nate is known for telling jokes. What can I tell you? So everybody said you need to have a joke of the day. So the joke of the day today is about a young couple who happen to get married. And they get on their honeymoon and they're getting ready to get into bed. And the wife says to the husband, she said, you know, I have a confession to make. She says, I'm not a virgin. He said, well, you know, in these day and times, you know, it's not unusual. She said, well, I've only ever been with one guy. And he said, oh, okay, well, that's fine. She said, yeah, I'm sure you know who it is. And he said, no, who is it? She said, well, it was Tiger Woods. He said, Tiger Woods? He said, yeah. Said, he's quite a guy, actually. And the guy said, oh, well, that's fine. You know, he's handsome, he's rich, he's famous. I could understand that. She said, yeah, it was quite an experience. So they get into bed and they do their thing. And when they're all done, he gets up and he goes over to the phone. He picks it up. And she said, who are you calling? He said, room service. I'm hungry. She said, oh, you know, Tiger wouldn't have done that. Tiger would have come back to bed and take care of business. So he hangs up the phone. He goes. Gets up when they're done, goes over to the phone, picks it up. She said, who are you calling now? He said, room service. I told you I'm really hungry. She said, you know, Tiger wouldn't have done that. Tiger would come back to bed and take care of business. Okay, hangs up the phone, goes back. Another round. Gets up, goes over to the phone. She said, are you calling room service? He said, no, I'm calling Tiger. I want to know what par is on this hole.